New developments this morning in the kidnapping of a Henderson teenager. Officers now say there could have been more suspects. We will have the latest.
And 35 National Guardsmen and women are in town this week for the National Guard Convention, but over the weekend is where the real fun kicked in. We're going to have all the details on some INDYCAR rides coming up.
Plus, many of us are still feeling the effects of the financial crisis, and some are suggesting that the younger generation may be to blame. I'll tell you what they're talking about there. Welcome to Monday, September 10th, 2012.
You're watching News 4 Today in high definition.
And a good Monday morning, everybody. Welcome to the second hour of News 4 Today as we check in with you now on this 10th day of September. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Balloon races, pretty nice on Friday and Saturday, but unfortunately, winds kind of kicked up early morning on Sunday and they had to stay tethered. Weren't able to get up in the air, but some pretty shapes and colors nonetheless on Sunday. A lot of disappointed folks out there because they didn't get up in the air, but hey, a lot of kids still love to see those shapes and colors. So pretty good balloon races, and now we look forward to the air races, which get underway this week as well. We're going to have a preview coming up in just a few, but we begin in southern Nevada this morning. Police announced yesterday that 2 more men have been arrested in the August 31st kidnapping of a 17-year-old Henderson girl. 2 other suspects were earlier arrested in the abduction of Melissa Duran. According to officers, all 4 suspects lived at the same Las Vegas apartment complex where Duran was rescued by investigators 21 hours after she was kidnapped from her family's home. We'll have more on this story today on News 4 at noon. And a Reno family is grieving this morning after a man is shot 6 times by police officers in Spokane, Washington. Ed Gubber was shot after an alleged confrontation with police in which he stated he had a gun. He was being sought by police after reportedly stabbing his girlfriend. But family members of Gover say that the officers went too far when they shot him 6 times.
You can't shoot him in the leg and just put him down. His sister believes that he should have been incarcerated for his actions because you don't physically assault a female. But 6 bullet shots. The first one killed him.
The investigation into the case is ongoing. Family members are planning on going to Spokane, Washington to speak with investigators there. Alex Sachs is going to have more on the story coming up in about 30 minutes. Well, for Sparks residents, the price of utility services could undergo some big changes soon. The Sparks City Council is considering approving a rate study analysis on utility services. The study will look at sewer, storm drain, and affluent services, which could lead to an increase or decrease in future rates. If the study is approved, it's expected to take 9 months before a final report is provided. And the Washoe County School District is expected today to release its test results for the Criterion Conference Test, or the CRT. The CRT uses multiple choice questions to measure whether students in the 3rd through 8th grades are meeting Nevada state standards in reading, math, and science. Superintendent Pedro Martinez will present the scores at about 10 o'clock this morning. Meanwhile, in the Midwest, for the first time in 25 years, teachers in Chicago are going on strike this morning. More than 26,000 of them, including support staff who work for the nation's 3rd largest school district, say they're walking off the job after talks failed late Sunday night over issues including pay, benefits, and job security. At least 400,000 students will be affected by the strike. Some major implications there in the Windy City. All right, let's take a quick peek outside. We were talking about the air races heading our way this week. Very exciting stuff, these special events that are going on. And also, don't forget to congratulate the Reno Aces who are heading to the Pacific Coast League Championships against Omaha. Game 1 is tomorrow night over at Aces Ballpark. So congrats to them. They were down, I think, 4-0 to Sacramento yesterday and came back to win 7-4.
They are really an amazing team. You know, they never stop fighting. Seems like they can always just pull it out at the very end.
Yeah, good baseball weather, good football weather. Just great weather for the air races, too, all week.
That's right, and unfortunately, like you said, the balloon races weren't able to take off yesterday, but Friday and Saturday we had some pretty nice weather for it, and so I snatched up some pictures off of Facebook here. This one taken by Brooke Boone. Gorgeous shot of the balloons there. You can see the panda balloon in the distance, and then the glow show. This one taken by Kristen Stith. You can see some of the balloons lining up there with the lights just before sunrise there. So a beautiful shot, and looking at your wind speeds, part of the reason yesterday the balloons were not able to to take off because the winds aloft were still a little bit too strong. Late on Saturday night, we were really hoping that the winds would calm down, but it looks like they just were not able to do that. And so even through about 7 o'clock yesterday evening, your wind speeds were sustained at about 15 miles per hour at the Reno-Tahoe International Airport. Now that was down at the surface level there, so we did see winds a little bit stronger aloft early Sunday morning. 61 degrees right now at the Reno-Tahoe International Airport without any wind or any gusts this morning. It's a quiet one, but it is going to be a little breezy later on today once again. Cooler at Truckee at 46 this morning, 60 at South Lake Tahoe with mid to lower 50s for Lovelock, Fallon, and Winnemucca. A few isolated showers this morning around Elko, but most of the rain and thunderstorms is going to stay in the southern half of the state where we have flash flood watches, and we'll talk more about that coming up next in my full forecast there. 93 was the high yesterday, almost 10 degrees above the average. We'll cool it off a little bit today for 90 and 55 at Reno Sparks, and breezy winds to about 15 miles per hour. Calming down the wind tomorrow just in time for the start of the air races by Wednesday. Bill?
All right, we are excited for that. Thank you very much, Jen. Well, thousands of National Guard members are in Reno this week for the 134th National Guard Convention. But before business, some lucky Guardsmen and their families got to enjoy a little high-speed thrills, if you might say. Dina Kupfer joins us now live in the studio with the details on that. In fact, she got to enjoy some of those thrills as well. Good morning, Dina.
I did. Good morning, Bill. Yes, I was able to get behind one of those seats of an INDYCAR, a two-seater INDYCAR. Those things go up to 180 miles an hour, and nearly 100 soldiers also got to hang up their uniforms and also take a ride over the weekend. And you can hear those babies roar. I've got to tell you, being right next to it, they were absolutely loud. Now, Panther Racing is all the ones that are putting this on. They're giving rides to the military at INDYCAR events nationwide throughout the year, and they're visiting more than 35 cities to give those private rides to the men and women who have served our country. It's all part of their initiative to give back to our soldiers and to make sure also that these brave men and women have jobs when they're finished serving our country overseas.
When you look at the National Guard specifically, they're citizen soldiers. They're not on anyone's payroll. They have to have jobs when they're not deployed.
It was great to step into another job right away. I didn't have to worry about it. I knew as soon as I retired where I was going.
Now, Panther Racing is hiring our servicemen and women throughout the country at different areas, and the National Guard Conference will also be held this week at the Reno Sparks Convention Center. And the economic boom to our area is supposed to be substantial. Ben McDonald over with the RSCVA says the estimated revenue for hotels, shopping, dining, and gaming is expected to bring in about $11.8 million to our local economy. And coming up in the next half hour, I'll show you my ride behind one of those Indy cars. We're also going to chat with kind of a celebrity race car driver, Ari Lyondike, who was also out there this weekend. You may know him from The Bachelorette. Bill, I know Shelby takes a good look at that guy every once in a while. We'll send it back over to you.
Never heard of him. All right.
Keep telling yourself that.
Okay, all right, thank you, Dina. 6:08 is the time. Well, more than 22,000 fans packed Mackey Stadium Saturday as Nevada football hosted their first home game. We're going to have more on that, tell you about a little tailgating going on over at Mackey. And experts say it's never too young to start teaching your kids about finances, but where do you start